Our next new section is at 2 minutes 50, and it's the lead up to the groovy breakdown section. Does this. Here we go. 3, 4. So, this is the same shape going up. Thumb over, this first shape, we've got a little triad there, which is like a G-sharp triad. That's the 6th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G, 4th fret on the D, and our thumb is taking care of the 5th fret on our low E. This goes up a whole step. Then it goes, that same shape goes up 1 fret, and then a whole step again. So if we look at our thumb, just keep the shape the same above the thumb. 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret. On the second time round, we got a nicer little accent on the last chord. And the third time round, which is the tricky bit, is the little Reiki thing that he does with the thumb. So this is like we do on the riff. We do an open out root note, one hit like that, and then we rake the rest of the strings. But our first finger is resting on the B string, so you got. And you do it on each chord. This is a cool little funky chord at the end there. This shape is I'm using my third finger to bar the 12th fret on the D, the G, and the B. And then we got the 11th fret on the A, and you want to pull those middle 4 strings with your thumb and these 3 fingers resting on each string. So in context, one more time round, just so you can see it. 3, 4. And that's our lead up to the really cool funky section. Fortunately, on the original track, he only does it twice round, but if you check out when he does it with his acoustic guitar, he goes off and really extends that section. And if you notice, every time the years change, he adds a bit more. If you check him playing it, say in 2005, he's added a few more things when he's playing it in 2010. So it's, I guess if we were playing this song as many times as he has, we would be adding new things. But what he does live with the acoustic thing is amazing. But fortunately for us, we've just got to concentrate on a tricky section, which is twice round after our build-up section, which we've just looked at. So I'm going to play it through, and then I'll take you through it slowly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's break that real groovy section down. Here's our first little phrase we need. This little chord, opening chord, is an open low E string. We've got the 7th fret on the A, 8th fret on the D and the G. Two pulls at it. I'm using a finger to a fret, thumb on the E string, and then we've got A, D, G with my first, second and third finger. This phrase is, this little linking riff is just hammering on from the 7, this is the low E, 7 to 10, using my little finger, and then 2 pulls at this chord. This is little finger on the 10th fret, 7th fret on the G, and 8th fret on the B. So our opening phrase will go, there's a little, before we hit that, there's a little, I'll really highlight it, a little hit on that low E string. There it is. That's what gives it the sort of the swing. It's very subtle. One more time. Next phrase does this. This is hammering on from the 7 to the 10, then open E string, and then we got a little slide from the 8 to the 9, and then your little finger take care, or your third finger take care of the 12th fret on the low E, and then if you can get just a little on the D and the G string on the 12th fret. So that's the phrase. This is a riff that he uses a lot live when he does his acoustic thing. It's all bouncing from this riff. So from the opening phrase, a bit slower, 3, 4. Here's our next phrase we need. It does this. So broken down, there's our first two chords again. We've got the bouncing from the low, the E, open E. There's our 7 on the A and a 8 on the D and G. There's our next chord, which was the 10 on the D, 7 on the G, 8 on the B. So we get, and then here's a very cool new section. This is the thumb is taking care of the A string. These two fingers are taking care of the G and the B string. So that A string is the 8th fret. Then we've got the 8 on the G and the 11 on the B. And then we do an open D string and slide this shape from the 7 and the 9 up to the 8 and the 10. So we get, and then top two strings, which is the B string and the E string, B10 and the 8 on the E. So the best thing is just to cycle that. From the opening phrase. And from the top. So that would be classed as your as the first round. The second round does this. So this second round starts exactly the same as the first time round, does this. So there's our first chord, very slowly. There's our riff. One more time. Then we just stay on this chord. You want that. There's the chord. It's the 10th fret on the D, the 5th fret on the G, and the 6th fret, sort of a G sus4. So in context, you get. So there's the transition chord. And that is you just want to get that thumb and finger thing happening. So the whole section, the second section, very, very slowly. Again, it's harder to play slower than it is up to tempo. Here we go, slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And round 1 and round 2 together, slightly slower than the track. Here we go, 3, 4. So coming out of the funky section, we got our bridge section with the wah, and there's no push on the second chord. It does this, 3, 4. So this is, you've got all the parts so far. The only new part I played there, I went through the bridge, I played the chorus chords, and I just went out on that funky little thing he does at the end. Just the, this is the E, A, D, and G string, and there's our chord. This is that chord we used in our funky breakdown section. This is the 7 on the A, 8 on the D, 8 on the G, and you're just sliding from the fret below. And if you want to know what that little strange little guitar part that happens over the top of that on that outro, it's doing this. If we get, it's quite a spiky sound. It does this. One more time. That part, that's the E string on the 8th fret, little fingers on the 11th fret of the B, 10th fret on the G, and you're doing that, you know, James Brown rhythm. And then we got this little, that's top E string, 8, 10, 11, down to the B string, which is 8, 10. And there's the part. That's all the component parts to Neon. Very tricky song. It's all about muscle memory with that song, really. If you, the most amazing thing about that song is the fact that he's playing it and singing it at the same time. But I guess if you've played it as many times as he has, that's probably possible. But great song, always great to see him do it live. A showstopper, fantastic song, Neon.